Alright everyone, welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have 75 laps here at Talladega for the Area 51 Superspeedway Cup Series. Got just a few more minutes left in practice. Drivers kind of get in there drafting, dialed in here, get some pit stop practice as well, get everything rolled in here. So we're going to let them finish up their practice laps here, and then we'll of course qualifying. We'll play the little Area 51 intro video that, again, really awesome that Roy Wheeler is able to put together there. So we'll do that, and then we'll get going here. Saying we're gonna have just normal qualifying. Everybody who's in the field will race. So no more heat races on this one. So that'll be the normal qualifying. So you probably see a little bit of strategy of those who want to be up front, and then those are gonna want to take it early here. So we'll rejoin you guys here shortly. Alright, so drivers are making their qualifying laps right now. So again, I want to welcome you all here to Green White Checkered TV with the Area 51 Racing League Superspeedway Cup Series tonight at Talladega, scheduled 75 laps. Again, joined tonight with our admin slash racer slash broadcaster Roy Wheeler. Roy, really glad to have you again with me here. This is for me, for the plate racing, I prefer Talladega because they say you can really work that third groove without too much trouble. Daytona obviously gets a little bit tight. So I think we're going to see a lot more three-wet racing, I should say, than we saw last week at Daytona.
Yeah, this is um, a lot better track to race. Super speedway, in my opinion. Like you said, you can go three wide. Still not always preferable, but you can do it. And there's enough skilled drivers in here that it should be good. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of green flag racing, a lot of green flag pit stops. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so I think we can get some long enough runs and that'll spread the field out and should really be able to kind of get everybody spread out and then see kind of how they manage their race from there. So we'll see if that's actually the case or not this evening. But either way, it should be a lot of fun. I'll say we got kind of a preview of things last night, all those with the Xfinity cars. I'll say we did a little birthday bash for. So how am I losing? LG Whaley. Say we did a little birthday bash for him. And saying I know you'll be shocked to hear that the top two were Gabe Butler and the 8 of Dude Conrad. So a huge surprise there seeing those two up front as I bite through my sarcasm. But yeah, so I was saying I think we're going to see similar groups of drivers there up front at least at some point during this race. Again, we talked about how well those drivers all work together. However, so qualifying still going on here, and so you definitely have a few new faces towards the front of the field here. We'll see if that the 1 and the where's Raymond 87, there they are. See if they qualify towards the top like they usually do here.
Yep, and I'm sure they'll be running right together with the rest of that team. I think Matt Quick is another one. Dude Conrad, Gabe, and Raymond. They're always right there in the front.
Yeah, as I say that, I spoke too soon. I say it looks like some of those guys are already now towards the top of the charts, but again, still a few more making their laps here. So once they finish up their laps here in just a little bit, we'll go through our starting grid for this evening.
I see we got some Josh and Brandon fans. I wonder where's our other fans. We got Logan. You usually have some fans out here. Eric, his wife's usually watching. I hope they're watching tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure they're hiding in here at the moment. So that does conclude qualifying. So let me go ahead and pull up our ticker here so we can go over our starting grid. So make sure everything gets loaded up correctly. There we go. I was kind of joking about it, but winds up being the case again here. So trying to see if I can get the camera up front. However, our front row though, you see that 87 Raymond Rittenauer there next to him, Dale Willoughby in the 7, and then there's Gabe Butler in the 3rd position, Jimmy Crow, then you have Logan Helton, Jack Walls, Joe Delavecchia, and Kevin Hash round out our top 8. Try to grab a car here. There we go. I'll pull up our 9th through 16th there. You have Chad Wilkes, Douglas Johnson, Jude Conrad, Kevin Fries, Bud Steele, Len McNeese, Mark Brown, and Eric Schaus. And Rachel is watching. I say, just so you're aware, Roy, I say she just chimed in here. So glad to have you again, Rachel. This is play racing, so don't get too stressed. I'll say anything can happen between lap 1 and lap 75. Plus green white checker finishes. So these ones are definitely a little bit more unpredictable.
Yeah, listen to you say don't get nervous during this race. I think super speedway is all about being nervous.
Oh, come on, I'm just trying to be positive here. As we're going through some of the remainder of the grid, it's again pretty good looking field here. Looks like about 41 cars taking the grid. See, a few of these drivers decided to go ahead and do a kind of just take a provisional and start towards the back there. Again, you'll probably see them trying to ride things off a little early. It looks like our last driver on the grid is that the 26 of Paul Patterson starting 41st. However, field is rolling off. Again, pole sitter this evening, that 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. Again, we talked about some of those teammates as well. So you can see some of them all right here together there, the 87, the 7, and the 1. You can see some of these guys are already riding the apron here, trying to save fuel even under the pace laps, and that's because this is right on the fuel window if it goes green on a 2-stop race. So say right now the fuel window is roughly like 24, 25 laps. You definitely want to get to that 25 lap number. That's going to be, if not even a little further, honestly, that's going to get you where you need to be to make it on those 2 stops. So we'll have to kind of see if there's any strategy from some of the drivers on that front. It looks like the 71 of Mitchell Wilkes may have missed the grid here, so he's actually going to start from the pits, which could be a benefit, honestly, depending on how the start goes. However, he's going to have to hope for a quick caution, because otherwise the field's going to just eat him up so fast, just with the speed of these cars in the draft compared to being by yourself. You need to be hooked up with somebody here.
I'm looking at Matt Quick. I guess he wasn't able to qualify. He was last week's winner, so he's starting near the back, so he'll have a lot of work to do. Maybe he'll use his same strategy, a lot of pit strategies to get up front.
Yeah, so I think that's what some of these guys are planning on here. As I say, you see the 13 of Ryan Kelly's right there as well. So he's another one you'd expect to see towards the front. So I think a little bit of strategy from some of these guys. It looks like also 2 of those YouTube favorites there. You got the 3 of Brendan Thomas here, and the 199 of Josh Sichterman. They're kind of cruising here in the back, starting 37th, 38th. So I think they're just going to try to ride here, kind of keep their cars in good shape, and then really go after it once it's time to go. So, yeah, so say we're about to get rolling here. Say pace cars in are going to come through the tri-oval and then coming out the exit of the tri-oval, and we'll get things going here again for scheduled 75 laps here at Talladega. Alright, green flag is out. Even start for those front rows. Again, we'll see that inside row. That's the word I'm looking for. Get the initial advantage here on the start. Again, just getting up to speed and everything. But then once they start getting up onto that backstretch, we might see some momentum on that top side. And then the question is going to be, is someone going to, like that 63, looks like Logan Helton, if he wants to, could probably jump to the top here and try to be the leader of this top group once that 7 gets to him. Looks like for now he's going to go ahead and hang out here, stay in line. So we're going to stay 2x2 as they enter turn number 3.
Yeah, I'm curious if he's going to jump out there, because, I mean, if he was in fuel-saving mode on the pace lap, you wouldn't think he'd want to jump out there in front, use all that fuel up.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. That might be kind of the plan there. Is just like, you know what, right now I'm just going to cruise here. Not really use up my fuel here. Let that 87 burn his stuff up and just kind of save. I say, especially when you're that third, like if you're the second car line, you still have to use a fair bit of fuel because you still have to push that leader to keep towards the front. Once you're that third car in the line or a little further back, there's where you can really save fuel. Especially on the inside line, you can really roll out of the throttle and save fuel, of course, and running the shorter line. So that's going to be a definite benefit there. So, you mentioned a little earlier, we do have one of our Logan Helton fans here. Maxine is on YouTube, so appreciate you joining us as well. So right now, again, you can see Logan doing started in the down here 5th spot, currently running roughly around 3rd. Of course, that's going to change lap by lap as that top line starting to form right now.
More like straightaway by straightaway on this track.
And actually, that reminds me.
Yeah, they're already pretty spread out. We got a group. I think I saw a lot of checking up at the very start, so it looks like we might have 2 separate groups right off the bat. We got Todd Merkel, and I'm not sure who is in front of him. I can't see real well. They're trying to catch the front group.
Yeah, so let me jump over, take a look at those guys there. Yeah, and you're right. It's a little bit of a, you can see Todd's pushing that 99 as hard as he can. That's Mark Rabilis. Looks like they've got the 12 of Robbie Richards. They'll be in good shape. They'll be able to grab onto it. However, it's going to be a little further back with that 55 Ryan Wachter on back. They're going to have to work their way forward here if they want to stay in the May draft. However, this also might be a strategy where it's like, you know what, let's just kind of cruise here in the back. But I have a feeling it's kind of looking like some of these guys want to get towards the front and saying there are enough of them that they can definitely make that. So right now there's 24 cars in that lead pack. But that second group, I think, will definitely be able to make some gains here as well.
And it looks like Eric wants to make this 3 wide right off the bat. Let's see if he drops back down. Looks like he might stay on the outside, but nobody wants to go with him. So I bet he's going to drop right back down into line. Yeah,
sure enough, he drops right in there and entering turn number 3 right behind that 10 of Corey Lane. Saying also right in front of the 22, I believe that is, or actually I think that may be the 23, Brandon Pasalacqua. Yeah, sure enough, it is that black Miller Lite car. But there again, here goes the 72. He wants to make this top side happen. He wants to get to the front, but I say again, I don't think anybody's really ready to go yet. Again, we're still early on here, so you're just completing lap number 5. So say again, still a long ways to go. Actually, sorry, starting lap number 5. So again, still a long ways to go, 70 laps. And so I'm going to try to do also is I'm going to try to keep an eye on that gap between that first group with Todd Merkel to the second group. And I'm looking at the lap times, and Ryan Kelly's about 0.4 of a second quicker than Todd Merkel. So I think that second group's going to close here on that lead pack.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to stay single file. A bunch of just groups of 2 back there.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like a little bit of a tandem group there. Saying again, the first one looks like to be the 13 of Ryan Kelly. He's got help from that 42 of Justin Adolphson. It looks like he's working on getting him up there. Saying actually, yeah, these two started 34th and 36, so they had to work their way up just from the get-go to get to the front. So they are now back in this lead pack, so they've done what they need to do. So now the next group is going to be that 55 of Ryan Wachter, and he's got Matt Quick right behind him. And sure enough, that last time around, Ryan Kelly with the fastest lap of the race. 46.43 compared to the leader's 47.4, so he was actually a full second faster. Just shows how much that draft was working for that 13 car. So up front, still not missing too much to say. It's pretty much we got about that 200 mile an hour. What do you call it? Pace speeds, right? Or pace speed, 200 mile an hour pacing here, as if they were under caution. So. Again, I think all these drivers are just trying to settle in here, get a good rhythm going, and then be able to charge up towards the front here later as they go. So now the next group that's going to try to catch this lead pack, I believe, is going to be the 199 and the 3 car. So jump back to them, and I'll say, yeah, you can see they're hooked up together right here, and they've got a few with them there with Mike Morrison, Dwight Plush. So a little bit of smoke thing, it was just a connection issue. So they're trying to stay hooked up together here and charge up to the lead pack as well. And right now they're about a half a second back, so I think they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'm curious if that was part of the checkup at the beginning, or if they just wanted to run back there. But the way they look like they're charging up there, they don't want to be back there. They want to work their way to the front.
Yeah, I was saying this is kind of, for me at least, with these races, they're doing about what I would do. I'd want to stay towards the front, or towards the back, I should say, of the lead pack. And it looks like we've got pretty much the whole field now on the lead pack. As it looks like the last car in that group is going to be the 22 of Thomas McConnell. Looks like he's going to be kind of the caboose, if you will, of this lead pack. Unfortunately, though, 2 drivers did fall off from this. That's the 90 of John Burrell and the 47 of Dalton Hayes. However, the benefit they have is they have each other here, so if they can try to work together, they can really minimize the time loss that they're going to be experiencing. But while we're watching all that, up front, that one of Gabe Butler is able to get the move to the top side and then get back down in front of the 87 Raymond Rittenauer. So we have a new leader here. Gabe Butler leading the lap that last time around, and this time around, Raymond Rittenauer now that second car in that bottom line.
It looks like all 3 of those teammates are right together again, the top 3 there.
Yeah, so that's no surprise. And I think what we saw there is, I believe, if I saw correctly, I have a feeling Gabe was able to get a little bit of a gap behind that 7 of Dale Willoughby, and then once he got that push he needed, he went ahead and got around and then hopped right back down. So as I'm still watching Eric wants to go 3 wide. He's just like, come on guys, let's do this, I'm ready. But he keeps having to fall back in line, just doesn't have anybody ready to go yet. Again, go ahead.
Hey, I'm saying he should. He's got Todd Merkel. I think that's one of his partners that he races with quite a bit. If he can get him to go with him, they might be able to get something going, but we'll see. I know Eric's not one of those ones that likes to run the middle of the pack. He likes to be up front. Who wants to be in the middle? It's kind of a dangerous area.
Yeah, so you saw those 2 coming up behind him there. That was the 42 and the 13. So that's exactly what Eric wanted to see. So he's going to jump to the top here, pick up that 42 of Justin Adolphson and Ryan Kelly. They're going to try to see if they can line up together. Oh, as I said, it looks like they kind of pushed a little too much and got a little bit of wiggly there on the backstretch. So that kind of unformed right as they initially tried to get it started here. So we'll see if they give it another shot, but right now, it looks like those 2 are pretty now content on running the middle groove, which is going to, unfortunately, looks like probably cost Eric a couple spots here again. So yeah, so I'd say it looks like that top line, nobody's really ready to go for it yet. They went kind of did a half attempt, if you will, and just didn't quite go to plan. So they're kind of decided to regroup. And it's going to be better as well, because actually I'm just looking now. You see that 71 car starting to come up in front of the field. That's Mitchell Wilkes. That was the driver we mentioned that started from the pits. He's had no drafting help, so it's took about 10 laps or so for them to catch him. But you can see here comes that leader, or the lead pack here with a big head of steam. So staying 2x2 here is going to be actually very beneficial to put the 71 a lap down safely.
Yeah, I'm hoping Eric sees him far enough up there and drops down.
Yeah, I think he'll be all right where he's at, because I say he's far enough back, and sure enough, he's falling back behind that 13 of Ryan Kelly. So I'll probably wait for that to take care of itself, and then maybe see if he jumps back to the top. But again, the other thing too is we talked about those fuel numbers. I mean, you still want to save a little bit here, and that might be what we might have seen with with Gabe Butler and Raymond Rittenauer. I wonder if maybe they switch spots almost to try to then let Raymond save a little bit of fuel in that 87 car to hopefully allow all of them to make it to that lap 25 mark.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Last week it seemed like Logan was wanting to run up front the entire time, but he seems pretty content right now, running right where he's at. I think it's a smart strategy. You got another driver you got to watch out for, is that number 83 at Jack Walls. He's a fuel managing fool, so he'll be there at the end also.
Yeah, you're right. Jack is a very good fuel saver. He's always got his strategy pretty well down. It looks like now we've got that top line again forming up. This time the 42 leading the way. Ryan Kelly right with him, and I say there's no surprise there. Eric saw them go. It's like, yeah, I want to join this party too. So Eric's up there with him now. Finally got a couple friends, and you can see they're definitely making ground now. Say they've started to close. They're starting to kind of move slowly but surely here, move their way forward.
I think I'm starting to see why Rachel always gets nervous. Eric likes to get that third line up there, huh? That would make me nervous too.
Yeah, I'd say he's not just, as like you said, he's not one to ride. He wants to be up front and be in contention all race. And that's plate racing. Everybody's got their different strategies of how they want to run it. We've seen that teamwork with Gabe Butler, Dale Willoughby, Raymond Rittenauer. They all work really well together, and they usually are controlling the race up front. And they've got other drivers that just, you know what, I'm just going to take it easy here, let things kind of unfold, and then go towards the end of the race, especially if there's green flag stops. But yeah, I'll say we're riding on board here with Eric Schaus, and so you can see he's definitely one that wants to get to the front if at all possible. Which again, here at the plate race, it's a little trickier to do. So obviously when we run the regular tracks, got a lot more opportunities to move your way forward.
And I think Jim Brooks now in the 76 car, I think he's one of those ones that he'll ride back there in the back, and he'll be a sleeper all night long. And then there's a lot of times if he doesn't get caught up in the wrecks, he'll be right there at the front too, by the end of the race.
Yeah, so, and I'd be doing the same. And you can see actually he's in that exact position here, right at the back of this lead pack. He's got one car behind them. That's the 26 of Paul Patterson. So I have to be a little careful not to fall too far off, because they're actually a little dangerously far right now. So he's going to have to hope for a little bit of help, I feel like. But you're right. I think right now where they are, they're probably, they're definitely in a safe place. But again, if we do go green, you don't want to lose that much track position. However, I said we got to move back up front here, because that outside line is on.
It is moving.
I say they're getting tight on entry. Looks like Gabe may have just touched the outside wall, and you can see as soon as the 42 had room to get to the middle, he took it. So that's going to put him.
Didn't he?
Yeah, so he kind of ditched his partner there. I'm not sure Ryan's going to be super happy about that, but I wonder if that's the same thing, though. So it looked like they started kind of lose connection with each other. So now Ryan's going to have to be hopeful that 72 is able to work with him and see if they can kind of reform what they had that was going there before. But yeah, so you see right there that 42, though, Justin Adamson going from, what was that, probably in about the 30s or so now to fighting for the lead here. Another thing, we have about 10 more laps until we're going to say a little less than 10 laps probably, but say until that pit window's about to open. So we'll start seeing people also start trying to jockey to get to the bottom of the track. So that's going to also be critical. I'm sure you'll be listening to some of the drivers on the radios, and they'll probably be starting to call out that they need to get to the bottom or things like that. But that's just one of those things that if you're in this middle top groove, you're kind of at the mercy of those around you.
Yeah, and that can be scary, especially when that bottom line's running the whole tank dry and you can't make another lap. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so it's still got a little ways till we get to that point, but it's definitely something that we could run into. So of course, then if somebody goes too far and runs out of fuel in front of the field, that will also be a non-ideal situation. But again, looks like still Gabe Butler leading the way, so you still see that 42 trying to get the push to the front. He's got the 7 of Dale Willoughby right behind him. But right now, I'll say those two on the bottom are definitely working well together. You see Logan Helton as well, right, still in that back bumper of the 87 car. And I think those three working together as well as they are. That's kind of what's keeping this inside line really pushing forward here. Because usually, again, I've mentioned that middle line. The middle line seems to be able to get some pretty good momentum on exit, but right now the inside lines, I think, just so well attached to each other that they're able to kind of keep that momentum going.
But at third line, I'm surprised with 2 cars that it's sticking with them up there like that.
Yeah, they're doing well. And as I say that, Dale Willoughby says, you know what? I like that idea. Let's do it. Oh, as I say that, push gone wrong. Oh, we're going to have a big trouble here entering the backstretch. As say caution is out. Say I was in front of the field. You can see lots of cars involved. Let's say it's pretty much a parking lot here. So a lot of cars involved here. You can see we mentioned some of those drivers cruising in the back. They're going to get away with it. However, yeah, we're going to have a lot of cars involved here. It's going to be probably easier not to mention who's not involved. To say I'm seeing pretty much it looks like what Jimmy Crow, Joe. So I'm looking at the intervals here. So Jimmy Crow, Joe Della Vecchia, I believe Jack Walls may have been in it. Dude Conrad, Douglas Johnson, Bud Steele, Eric Laurie. Looks like Kevin Freeze was in it as well. As I see some drivers already hitting the pits as well to get some fast repairs done. See the 66, 72 we just mentioned. I think I saw the 44 Dwight Plush with some damage. Looks like Eric Laurie. Yeah, that's a lot of cars here that have damage here. So I'm going to see a lot of fast repairs being taken advantage of. And again, that's the benefit of this is you do have the option of using these fast repairs to be able to get back into the mix. However, they're going to have to hustle, though, because the leaders here are in turns 3 and 4. So let's go ahead and look back at this replay and see how this all unfolded. All right, we're going to go back just a little bit more. Unfortunately, I think it was just a bump draft gone wrong. So trying to find a better angle here. Yeah, you can see the 13 and 7 make contact with each other. So it's right as the camera kind of switches angles. I think just the 13 didn't get a square push on the 7. You see it just pushes him right up into the wall. And then unfortunately he's going to bounce off the wall right across the field here. And you can see pretty much, oh man, just some of those guys barely snuck through. But you can see a lot of these drivers involved. Looks like the 17 of Chad Wilkes somehow made it through there. See Bud Steele trying to make it through. Couldn't quite fit though. That's going to collect him as well. And I see some of these drivers now also trying to sneak through, trying to keep an eye on those that may have made it by. So I'm watching the 81 car. Oh yeah, he gets piled in there at the very end. Actually, 28 Charles Johnson goes up and over there, so he takes a bit of a ride. You see Michael Spells involved as well. So it's pretty much honestly easier to see who wasn't involved. But those that were cruising in the back, though, you see here Matt Quick. You see that 71 of Mitchell Wilkes, Jim Brooks, Paul Patterson. They're all able to get away with it because of where they were, just kind of cruising, kind of I think waiting for this. And so yeah, they were able to benefit from that. So although it does look like Matt Quick's got a little bit of rear end damage, so I'd say Grumpy Cat kind of got center punched there in the back. So. Grumpy Cat's probably a little more upset now after that.
Right. Yeah. I think he'll be okay though. I'm not even sure if he'll need a fast repair.
No, if I was him, I would definitely save that fast repair. If from what I'm seeing, unfortunately, it looks like the 3 of Brandon Thomas is missing his hood here. That's definitely not going to help the aero of that car. So it looks like right now, though, our leaders are showing as Brandon Thomas and Mark Brown. I believe Mark is the first one out of the pits here in the 68 car. We're going to let the field kind of get all reordered and reorganized here, and then we'll rejoin everybody in just a moment. Try to get things moving forward here. Alright, as you can see, we are on the 1 to go already, so it looks like Gabe Butler able to get the lead here with that pit stop cycle. May have taken left side tires, not 100% sure, so he's got a 10.5 second stop compared to others with the 8 or stops in the 8-second range. So I think that 8-1 car may have taken 2 tires. You see next to him though, you've got 17 of Chad Wilkes, and you've got Raymond Rittenauer, Kevin Hash. So yeah, so I say unfortunately that was definitely a big one here at Talladega. I was saying we're still going to be in that 2-stop strategy. I feel like at this point, I say we're at lap 21 of 75, so we still got 55 to go. Again, we talked about that fuel window being right around 25 laps or so. So these drivers are going to be about 5 laps short from what I'm seeing here. So and you can see right now that one of Gabe Butler already saving fuel. So I say it definitely looks like that's going to be some strategy unfolding here this evening. So. With that, though, we're going to get things lined back up and get them going again. That one, again, of Gabe Butler, a race leader. Chad Wilkes next to him. You got Raymond Rittenauer, Kevin Hash, and Jack Walls round out our top 5. Alright, pace car's in. Looks like green flag is out. You see that one gets a pretty good start there with the 87 right behind him. As he's 17 waiting for that 03 to get hooked up as well so they can make a move. You see Jack Wall's able to get to the bottom there to be able to get that bottom line going here as well. So that's going to move Jack probably up a little bit as they go on this restart. And you see some of the field there as well. Mark Robillis in the 99 here. Matt Quick in the 89. They're also in this mix right now. And you see they all drop to the bottom here so far. So now it looks like that first car on the top line actually is going to be the 03 car of Kevin Hash. And he's got a bumper full of Matt Quick right behind him. And here comes that 8 of Dude Conrad as well, joining the mix here to try to get this top line here moving forward. Up front, though, Gabe Butler still leading the way. Raymond Rittenauer with him and Jack Walls, as we mentioned earlier. And so you see that 17 Chad Wilkes drop to the bottom to pick up that lead pack here. Not pick up the lead pack, but kind of stay in the draft here. And right now it's showing 35 cars on the lead lap. 36 at the moment. However, Brandon Thomas actually just made a pit stop. Oh, you see the 99 here. He's dropping to the bottom there. You can see he's having some connection issues. A really nice thing that he's doing there to drop to the bottom and go ahead and move out of the way, not put himself or others at risk with that connection issue. Unfortunate, obviously, but I say really nice gesture there by that 99 car, Mark Robillis. I was mentioning is that 3 of Brandon Thomas looks like he actually pitted there on the green. So right now, unfortunately, he's out by himself. So the same kind of situation here. He's going to have to hope for a timely caution to stay on the lead lap. But right now, say we've got the top 35. Actually, looks like something happened to the 071 of Eric Laurie. He's in the pits. Not sure what happened to Eric there. Say the 99 of... No, so there's the 99. He fell off the back, we talked about there earlier. But yeah, so unfortunately, 071 Eric Laurie's in the pits here as well. So right now, say here's the top, or these are kind of the last cars on the lead lap here. You can see them all kind of cruising together right now. So yeah, so we'll say keep an eye on them. Say back up front though, still running 2x2, 03 Kevin Hash trying to see if he can get something going here. Again, it's got a lot of help behind him. It looks like that Grumpy Cat car is doing all right with that pushed in rear spoiler. See Charles Johnson as well leaving the pits. I don't know if there's some pit penalties or something there, or just some. Yeah, actually, yeah, Charles is running 3 laps down, so I think something must have happened to him there. So right now, though, we have 2 cars 1 lap down, which are Dale Willoughby and Mitchell Wilkes. And then again, Brandon Thomas right now about 40 seconds off the lead, about a half a straightaway, but he's going to definitely need some help with a caution. Looks like we got that top line starting to form again. You can see that 63 Logan Helton trying to get some of that track position back. He's got help now from Bud Steele in the 6 and the 80 of Michael Spell. So we're going to see if these 3 are able to kind of make that push forward like we've seen some of the other drivers be able to do in that first run here. As we're going to cross the line here, there's going to be 50 to go here at Talladega, so we're at 1/3 distance. And you can see some of these drivers are definitely starting to move a little bit further forward up front. Some of those are cruising the back, like Roy had mentioned there, Jim Brooks, he's now in this mix here. So he looks like he's ready to start making a charge. And big surprise here, Eric Shaw saw the top line coming. He jumps in front. He wants to get going. Oh, you see the 7 of Dale Willoughby. Looks like we're going to have a caution in the back here. No yellow. Yeah, up. Yellow is out. You see, oh, actually, Dale Willoughby and Chad Wilkes, or sorry, Mitchell Wilkes. Those are two of the cars that were eligible for that lucky dog, so that's going to get them involved here. You see the 28 there try to sneak by as well. So let's go see what happened there, because that was a little bit further back in the field here. So a little surprised that they got contact with each other there. Keep an eye here with this. Oh, it actually looks like the 90. Let's go back a little bit more and take a better look here. Looks like it may have been a little bit of a net code situation, unfortunately, which yeah, so they never like to use those, but you see the 90 kind of washes up a little bit, and you watch the 61 and the 9 kind of react as if they get hit. So let's say we'll watch as he comes through the turn, he washes up. Yeah, I can't tell if they reacted to him or if it acted as if the car hit them. So we'll take one last look here. Yeah, it kind of acts like the 90 hits them, I believe. But unfortunately, say once that does that, the 7 hits the wall and just sends him up and tries to hang on to him. You can see it just sends him up and around. You see Joe Delecchia just squeezing by there around him. But then you see the 7 here. He's trying to keep it straight. You see he had it locked down, trying to keep it pointing in the right direction. But then behind them, it's like the 47, the 68 make contact. That gives them some damage. And then unfortunately, I believe, yeah, saying you see the 71 was caught up in this as well. Let's see where he got involved here. Oh, actually, so it was a 68 into the 47 into the 71. Kind of an accordion effect, if you will. And that's where it give that 71 Chad Wilkes a really hard hit to that inside wall. Again, brings our yellow back out here. So this is going to get all the field now in the pits, though, because this is going to get them to their window. So I think we're going to see pretty much everybody hit the pits for a splash of fuel. Maybe a few strategy takers. But yeah, so we'll watch these stops here, see what they do. I'm going to say we're going to see fuel only here. And there's that one heading on out there. You see Raymond Rittenauer as well. So yeah, so it looks like pretty much fuel only stops up front here. It looks like we've got about 3 that stayed out, which is the 23 here of Brendan Pasalacqua. And then you've got Charles Teed in the 27 car. And it looks like the 28 of Charles Johnson is going to get one of his 3 laps back. So it's going to put him 2 laps down, because again, 2 of those drivers that were in the incident, 2 of the drivers that were lapped down were involved in the incident. So that's going to burn them, unfortunately. And the other driver that stayed out looks to be the 55 of Ryan Wachter. And then actually, as I said, the 3 as well here, Brandon Thomas. So Brandon's going to, looks like, jump up into that 4th position. Again, really good timing for that caution for him. Able to stay on the lead lap and now also be able to gain a bunch of track position here. So yes, while we're under yellow again, we'll step away for just a moment and we'll rejoin things here again shortly on the 1 to go. All right, lights are back off of the pace car. So again, a little bit of strategy for some of these drivers here. You've got the 23, the 27, and then you got the 55 and the 3. They all stayed out. They've all got about 8 to 10, 11 laps on their fuel. And everybody else there pitted under that last yellow. Had a few take a splash at the very end, including the 052 Joe Della Vecchia. So I think some of these guys are kind of planning here on if they're going to go green the rest of the way, or kind of banking on some yellows and try to gain some of that track position. So yeah, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see again some new faces towards the front. So we'll see what this what those teammates there are able to do now that they're kind of restarted a little further back. I say that's a whole whopping 5th and 6th and 7th. So I'll say I don't know, that's pretty far back for these guys. I think they're going to be in trouble here.
Yeah, I'm looking at this 63, and it looks a little damaged in the back. How much do you think that'll affect him?
Oh, I don't think that'll do anything. I think he'll be good to go. I say I see what you're talking about as well. Just a little bit of that rear damage. I'll say can't get a good look at it now, but I'll say for the rear damage, I mean that looks pretty minimal. The 89 of Matt Quicks is actually worse, and he was able to stay right up front. So I'll say yeah. If I'm Logan Helton, I don't even worry about it, honestly. I think I just let it be and say don't even worry about getting it repaired manually too. I would just say just run with it here. So yes, again showing 2 cars, 1 lap down, 1 car 2 laps down. Looks like unfortunately Eric Laurie has retired from the race as well. So we still have 35 cars on the lead lap. But it's pretty interesting here. The top 4 started 24th, 20th, 24th, 28th, and 37th respectively. So we got a pretty big change here from this initial start. So green flag is out. Brandon Pasalacqua going to take the kind of take control of the start. You see just as outside the 27 of Charles Teed. And so you can see they jump straight to the top here, which is going to open the door for that 0-3. Kevin Hash to take advantage of that. And saying sure enough, that 0-3 is going to work his way right off the bat here. So we're going to have some 3 wide right away. I wonder if this is just, again, some strategy here, or if they didn't really mean to restart that high there. But you see the Logan Helton going to try to make this topside happen as well. We'll see if he's going to push that 27 to the front. Or say, and that's if the 27 wants to still stay up in the front up here. And I don't think the 27 wants to be up front from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that 3 wide, I don't know. Still so early in the race.
Yeah, it's definitely still early. And I think the 27 is actually trying to get to the back here. So say looks like he's just kind of rolling to the back. As soon as I say that, you see these drivers kind of try to jump up there and see if they want to work with him there. But I think they're going to wind up jumping right back down to the middle. So say that being said, though, we're mentioning like, oh, let's see if they're able to get back to the front. And as we look, so you've got Kevin Hash, Matt Quick, Kevin Freese all running the top 3 now. So yeah, they're able to get to the front pretty easily again.
Not surprised.
No, not at all. So yeah, so slightly different cars up front now leading the pack. It's been the 1 and the 87, but now you got the 03, the 89, the 25 as well. Those 3 I think are also part of that same team there. You see the 1 and the 87 aren't that far behind, and you see the 83 of Jack Walls trying to get this middle line to work. He's kind of by himself here. He's waiting for a little bit of help, which looks like it's starting to show up here in that form of the 81 of Todd Merkel. And he's got the 084 of Len McNeese right behind him, as well as Logan Helton. So they're going to see this top line, or middle line, I guess, if you will, kind of start to try to push their way forward here.
Mentioned earlier, it looks like the number 76 decided, I'm done riding around in the back. I'm going to go ahead and move up here.
Yeah, so I would have probably still been riding, but yeah, you're right. It looks like he's starting to try to make his way, move his way a little bit further forward as well. So not quite right in the thick of it completely, but yeah. Oh, as I said, it looks like okay. I think it's a connection issue. I saw Charles Johnson there have a little bit of connection. Saw the smoke, kind of got me nervous, but looks like we're still good to go here. But you're right though. Looks like the 76 is going to join this top line with that 6 of Bud Steele as well. So I say, looks like you see they've got about 8 to 10 cars, it looks like, already forming on the top side. So I think we're going to see, as long as they can stay hooked together pretty well here, I think we're going to start seeing that that group make some pretty good ground here.
Comes Jack Walls. He got a good push from Todd Merkel.
Yeah, you're
still
right.
just even.
Yeah, I say Jack right now is running side by side with that 4th place car on the inside line. So again, we'll see. I don't think we're going to see anybody from the inside line jump up to the top. I think those top 3 are, again, we talked about how well these teammates work together. I'm saying they are usually pretty committed with each other, so I think that's what we're going to see. But as I say that, though, we were talking about Jim Brooks, Bud Steele running that middle line. Bud's decided he's going to go to the top here. So he's got a little bit of a squeeze there from that 388, I believe that was, of Douglas Johnson. So I'd say that definitely caught his attention, I'm sure. And now here comes one more to the top as well. I believe that was the 028. Oh, there's no 028. What number are you? Gotta hunt down these car numbers.
We've got the number 199 and 3 in their brand new Blacklist sponsored cars. Looks like they're working their way up to the front.
Oh, it was the 388 the car I was looking at. That was actually a close call between the 388 and the 199 as soon as I switched over to them. And then the other car I was looking for was the 084. Apologies. So I saw him going to the top there. That's Len McNeese. Looks like he's trying to make the top side work. He's got some help now. He's got the 388 now as well. Douglas Johnson in front of him. But again, they need to form a little bit better. You can see there's a little bit of indecision. Some of these drivers trying to decide middle or top. So Sam, a little, as I say that, looks like 084 just nudges the wall there on the entry. Looks like he gets away with it, but yeah, Sam, this top line is making me a little nervous right here.
Yeah, I had to actually look down to see what lap we were on because they were getting so racy. I thought, man, we must be getting down to the end of the race already.
Yeah, we still got a long ways to go. I mean, I'd say one more pit stop for sure to make it to the end here, and I'd say pretty much most of the field should be good on their fuel number to make it on that one more stop. So yeah, as I say, right now there's definitely some pretty good aggression up here. As you can see now, we actually now have the 81 of Todd Merkel leading this top line. And as soon as I say that, I see one sliding in the back. He's able to hang on to it. I think that was the 22. Oh no, we got a caution. Yeah, so I thought the 22 had it saved. Oh, you can see some cars going through, and we have a lot more cars involved again. Looks like
and
72.
they're almost wrecking in the front, checking up. Looks like
Yeah.
they all okay.
Yeah, a lot of cars with a lot of engine damage. It looks like you see the 388 smoke in there. So let's go and see. Yes, I saw the 22 have a moment. I jumped over to him, thought he had it saved, and then once that happened, that's kind of where it all unfolded. I believe, just like you said, kind of, I think, an accordion effect with that wiggle that he had going on here out of turn number 2. So let's try to get a better look here as he comes through turn 2. You can see he's a groove or so higher, not really in a bad spot, but you can see just as he comes out of the turn, trying to keep an eye on it here. Yeah, the car just kind of steps out on him awkwardly there. And so you can see he starts cutting back to the top of the track here, but he's actually able to hang on to it. Looks like, yeah, the 7 actually was okay as well. Oh, nope, he didn't quite have save. Then he washes up into the 7 of Dale Willoughby. Nothing Dale could do there. And then, of course, you're going to see they're going to kind of get hooked together here, and that's just going to throw them down across the track, right into the path of the 68. You see some of the other drivers trying to sneak by. Oh, dude, Conrad just somehow makes it by. Eric Schaus was right behind him. He didn't quite make it. But you see Dwight Plesh is involved here as well. Trying to catch some of these car numbers as they go by here. But yeah, a lot of cars.
Poor Dale, he cannot buy luck today. I think he's been in every one, and none of them have been his fault.
Yeah, so I went up and chatted with him before the race, and I was telling Dale, I was like, all right, I want to see you have some good luck. And he's like, yeah, I need it. And unfortunately, it has not happened yet. But I say the one car I want to watch, though, is this. I think it was the 8 car that just snuck by here. Let me take a look. I think that was dude Connor. I'm going to go back a little bit here. We'll do some fast rewinding here. We'll actually hop on board with the 8 car. We'll go full speed here. You can see the wiggle start to happen, and you watch dude here go straight to the apron. He just sneaks by, and you can see all the crashing behind him. And so it looks like the 61 able to get through as well. That's Evan Pienza, so really great heads-up driving by those two to get around it, because that was definitely a moment there. So really good driving by those two to avoid it. And yeah, again, we're going to definitely see some more fast repairs being taken care of here. And it looks like, again, a bit of a mixed bag on the pit strategy. Looks like the top 7 here all stayed out. And then from 8th on back, went ahead and made some pit stops. So we'll step away for a moment, and then we'll join you all here again in just a moment. Alright, lights are off of the pace car. Again, you see right now we have 37 go, just crossed the halfway point that time around. So right now, again, we talked about the top 7 here all stayed out under this yellow. Gabe Butler's the first one that made that pit stop. And saying, again, if it goes green, that's going to let him take a lot less fuel during the pit stop than those other ones from Bud Steele on forward. Those drivers all made their pit stop, or sorry, those drivers did not make their pit stops. So again, slightly different drivers up front here. Let's say, however, we saw that 03 Kevin Hash has been up front for a good chunk of the evening. Kevin Free is able to work his way forward here as well, and we talked about Jack Walls, of course, as well. Todd Merkel now moved up into the top 4, and then behind them you've got Chad Wilkes, Corey Lane, and Bud Steele. So we'll see what these drivers are able to do in this restart as we're going to come to green here with 36 to go.
And look at that, Matt Quick is up there in the top already.
Oh, yep, he's right there with them. So I'll have to keep an eye on his. I'm guessing he hasn't fixed the damage yet on the 89 car either. I have a feeling we'll go back. Oh, no, I think he may have actually got it repaired on this one. Yeah, it looks like he did. All right, pace cars in and coming through the trial over here, waiting for that green flag to fly. And once they do, they're going to get things going again here at Talladega. All right, green flag is out, and we are back underway. Oh, a little bit of a, looks like maybe some tire spin or something there. The top line definitely did not get going very well there at all. You can see how stacked up they are up top. You can see also that 83 is able to clear as well. Looks like 17 should be able to get through as well. So we'll see if any of these drivers here are going to try to take advantage and jump to the top. It even looks like Bud Steele might clear them as well. And yeah, sure enough, there they go right away. That 17 Chad Wilkes, Bud Steele, they're going to jump to the top here and try to make this top line happen. And they've got a pretty good head of steam right off the bat here. Right now, Bud Steele pushing that 17 Chad Wilkes right now to the side of that 03 of Kevin Hash. You got the 83 at Jack Walls trying to see if he can keep him pushed forward as well. But right now, say those two are doing a really good job together. And so you see that the outside line's got plenty of cars in here, so we'll see how they're able to get through. However, you can see they're kind of moving a little bit back and forth, and we talked about that. That's always a little bit of a concern. You got to make sure that you're really square with that driver in front of you. You got to hold a really steady wheel here at Daytona and Talladega if you want to get those good pushes. And it looks like now they've got it locked on pretty well. You see Bud's just kind of just out a little bit to the right there, but you can see here he washes up a little too high. I think that's going to open the door for that 25 car to sneak underneath him and put Bud 3 wide. And so you see, it doesn't look like anybody's going to join Bud here. So unfortunately, this might push that 6 car pretty far to the back.
Yeah, he might lose about 10 spots on this one. I don't know. Jim might let him in. We'll see how this goes.
I don't think he'll be able to. Say if he does, he's going to get risk getting run over himself. Oh, he just squeezes in there. Yeah, you're right. I was worried about the 052 Joe Delavecchia if he was going to have any room to squeeze in there, but they are able to make it in there. So not too bad. It's always nice to have some friends get you back in position there. So now Chad Wilkes is going to have that the 25 car now, Kevin Freeze behind him, so he's going to be hoping for some pretty good pushing now to get himself towards the front here. And again, a lot of these drivers did not pit in that last yellow. Everybody can make it on one more stop to the end. It's just how much fuel they're going to have to take compared to the others. They have, again, about 10 laps less fuel. But now we're going to go 3 wide again. This time Logan Helton with some help from Bud Steele. Bud's going to try to see if he can make this top line work the way he wants it to be instead of him pushing him towards the back.
Yeah, it looks like Logan said, enough of this. I want back up in the top.
Yeah, I say those two seem to work really well together. So far, nobody's joined them yet, so we'll see. But you can see, though, Bud's on his bumper here, literally pushing him down the backstretch. And this is where you can really gain speed as they go through the backstretch. I say that it's that tandem is really what puts these cars at that increased speed. So right now you can see they're holding just even with about that third row. But I'd say I'm sure they would really love to have an extra driver to kind of join them up there. But I think it looks like, unfortunately, it looks like Eric Schaus. I was going to say, where's Eric? But it looks like he's actually in the pits here, 6 down. So he may have been out of fast repairs, unfortunately, with that. So one of the Highline buddies is not available at the moment. However, here comes Michael Spell. It looks like he's going to try to fill that role here. And the other fight we've got going on is for the Lucky Dog. We have 3 drivers, 1 lap down. That's Charles Johnson, Mitchell Wilkes, and Ted Deckard. They're all 1 down right now. Looks like Charles is in that ideal spot. And that's actually pretty impressive because Charles was 3 down and he's been able to get 2 of those back, even though there's been drivers that were 1 lap down. So Charles is kind of hoping for a little bit more luck to try to get back into the mix here.
Looks like, is that Bud on the 3 wide up there? It looks like he was trying to go up top. Now it looks like Jim jumped up there to see if he could help him.
It looks like they finally decided. That's like Jim was waiting. He's like, all right, let's do it. We'll try to make this top line happen. So you see, I think Michael wants to go there too. Just hasn't had the momentum to get himself up into that draft yet. But so I say if Michael gets up there, I think we're going to really see this top line start to push. And here comes Robbie Richards joining the mix as well.
Yeah, and I think all of those guys run together most of the time on these super speedways. Usually it's the same pit strategy, so we'll see what happens with them up on the very top. That's a long way to the low line.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, definitely a long way to go still. I say they are in good shape. I mean, I say it looks like most of this group all pitted there. I say I'm trying to double check it. Yeah, Logan pitted. I don't think Bud pitted, so he's on a slightly different strategy. As I say that, though, it looks like Logan's actually snuck into that middle line, so it looks like they're going to go back to 2x2. However, you see Charles Johnson, so it looks like he just squeezed underneath that 88 of Michael Spell. Good heads up, though, by Michael, giving him some room there. So I'm sure he's hoping to be able to squeeze back in, but right now just doesn't have a spot at the moment. So again, we talked about that field number being around 25 laps. I say this time around we're going to be 29 to go, and this is going to be about lap 20 on their fuel run. So I think they're going to have to pit around they're going to have to pit around, what would that be? Right around 25 to go, actually, probably. to make it to the end. They might be able to get to like 24, 23 to go, but again, that's going to be pushing it a little bit for some of these drivers, especially those that didn't make those pit stops. Right now, the furthest driver up that has made a pit stop is the 89 of Matt Quick. He's that third car on the inside row. Mac's got plenty of fuel here to make it to the end on one more stop. I say again, he'll be able to take less fuel, 10 laps less fuel, if you will, than these drivers up in front.
Yep, just like last week, he said he was back in the back, got caught up in some craziness, didn't really like it back there, so he just did a lot of pit strategy to work his way to the front, and it looks like he did the same strategy again tonight, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and that's the thing is with these races. I mean, obviously you gotta have the pace to get to the front and be able to race and everything, but at the same time, you gotta have the right strategy, especially at these kinds of tracks. You gotta kind of have it all put together, the speed, and then of course the strategy and the luck. I mean, it all kind of comes together, and say when you do have that opportunity to get all of those things, that's when you can finally put yourself in contention for wins, and that's one of those things these drivers have to keep in mind here.
Absolutely.
I would say definitely thank you, Donald, for joining us here, and say appreciate the compliments there. Say definitely enjoying again being a part of this with the Area 51 Racing League, and of course having Roy here in the booth with me. It's a lot of fun. As I say that, here goes that 63 Logan Hilton back to the top, but he is all alone. Let's see if Bud's going to join him again this time or not. It definitely looks like he's tempted on it. So let's see if he jumps here out of turn 2. Right now, Logan's still a lonely man up top in that 63 car here. I think you can see, it looks like Bud's trying to roll out a little bit there. Yep, as you see Logan drop right back in. Because actually they're coming up on that 72, unfortunately, of Eric Schaus. Had some, I think, was in that incident there. Looks like he's got the damage repaired now on his car. But showing again 8 laps down here, so he's going to stay up at the top, let these leaders go on by, and probably just kind of try to grab onto the back of the draft here.
You got the teammates, you got Bud, Jim, Charles, and Michael all lined up together on that outside line. I'm wondering if they're going to try to jump out and make it 3 wide, or if they're just they're content staying there and then kind of working their way to the bottom line once they need to get some fuel, because I know they'll probably most likely all pit together.
Yeah, that's gonna be the question actually, because some of them are gonna be on different strategies, like we talked about. Bud actually did not pit, so he's gonna have to pit before Jim and those guys. So at some point, that 6 car is gonna have to try to find his way to the bottom here. So say that's the one I'm a little worried about right now. He's right now behind that 63 Logan Helton, but I would say within about 2-3 laps, I think we're gonna start seeing those drivers that stayed out here are gonna have to hit the pit road here and get some fuel.
So if you had to pit anyway, would you go ahead and pit early with your teammates, or would you say, hey, sorry, you're on your own?
Well, the problem is, let's say with the longer, it just depends. I mean, if Bud can get a really strong pit stop, like get in aggressively and hit the stall perfectly, he might still be okay. But the problem is, again, it's the extra fuel. It's going to take those couple extra seconds to make it enough to get to the end. Whereas let's say, I'm just giving rough numbers, of course. Let's say Jim and those that pitted there on that last yellow, let's say they need 5 seconds of fuel. Bud might need 10 seconds of fuel, and I mean that's enough, obviously. And you can see, I think Bud's starting to try to roll to the back here. I think at least that's what I'm sorry, that's not Bud, that's Charles. But I think we're going to see Bud here at some point try to get to the inside. And again, that's going to be also some of these guys like Jack Walls in the 83 car as well. He's going to have to hit the pits, which actually, let's just do that. Who needs to make pit stops still soon? It's going to be Kevin Hash, Jack Walls, Chad Wilkes, Todd Merkel, Kevin Fries, Corey Lane, Bud Steele. I believe that's all of them. So those are going to be the drivers we have to keep an eye on here that are going to probably be pitting very shortly. Say they can make it to the end from here now. Let's say we were at 24 to go, come in 23. Whether or not maybe they're giving themselves a green-white checker buffer, that's always a potential here to kind of keep in mind. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on our leaders and see if any of them duck off of the inside line here. It looks like everybody's staying out still, so they're going to go one more time before they make a pit stop. But yeah, I think we're going to see some business picking up here pretty shortly.
Yeah, I figured Bud had that little gap. He still might have that gap to get down if he needs to.
Yeah, it's a close one right there with Raymond. That's one of the things that just depending on if your teammates or not, say that I mean, again, I don't think Raymond's going to try to block him by any means, but he definitely, again, it's going to be a little bit of that strategy where it's like, well, I can't really let you in because I've got a car right behind me, and so on and so forth. You see Logan, looks like Logan's dropped to the bottom here. Again, he's still good on fuel, but I'm wondering if these guys are starting to try to put themselves in those positions for these pit stops here. So we'll watch as they come around, see if anybody ducks off this time around.
There we go.
Yep, here comes 3 of them. Oh, actually, no, we got more than that. And so some of those that pitted are actually some of those that don't need as much fuel. You see Matt Quick is one of them. He can still go. He could have still gone further, but he's decided to pit here. It looks like it's Matt Quick, Kevin Freese, Gabe Butler, Raymond Rittenauer, Dude Conrad. Those are all teammates that are running together there. So that's going to give the lead, I believe, now to Chad Wilkes here in the 17 car. And again, we're going to see for a few of these drivers, again, are going to be really close here. Let's say Chad Wilkes, Todd Merkel, Douglas Johnson, they all need to pit here. You see there, Todd Merkel able to get to the bottom there. That's going to be exactly what he needs. We're going to see if any of these other guys are going to try to make their pit stops here this time around. You see some jumping to the top. Yep, here comes the next group.
I think you said Matt Quick was good on fuel, but it looks like he went ahead and pitted with his teammates.
You're exactly right. Yeah, he did pit with his teammates there. And it looks like they are on here. So again, this is a lot more drivers here. You got Todd Merkel, Jack Walls, Corey Lane, Logan Helton, Bud Steele, Robbie Richards, Michael Spell, Josh Sichterman, Brandon Thomas, and Paul Patterson. They all hit their pits this time around. Now let's put the lead now to the 42 car.
And that front group, they had all good pit stops, so a little bit spread out now in the backstretch, but once they get gathered, they'll be fine. So that the second group that pitted, better hope they had all clean pit stops.
Yeah, so this is where things really usually spread out. So we talked about how good those drivers like Gabe Butler, Matt Quick, and them are to pitting with each other. I was saying, it looks like the second group here, they're going to keep going a little longer. I say I'm watching our race leader again, Justin Adamson, in that 42. He's now got the 61 of Evan Pienta on the top side. He's going to try to get some help from the 72 car.
Number 3 almost lost it. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to catch
no,
you
you're
off.
good.
He recovered. He's still good, but he might be losing the group he pitted with.
Yeah, you're right. It looks like he's got a car behind him. Actually, I think that's Josh Sichterman, so I think he'll be okay. They're going to lock up together here. The problem, though, is I say these cars behind him are coming with a big head of steam, so they're going to have to hope for them to make some pit stops here shortly because they don't want to get trapped a lap down here. That's definitely one of those things that to be careful about with these green flag stops. There goes one more in. I believe that was Joe De La Vecchia who jumped into the pits there. But you see that actually, even though they want to stay on the lead lap here, they're going to jump to the top here. Again, really respectful driving by these guys. They're not going to try to mess up the way that the race is going here. So you see they're going to jump to the top. We're 3 wide for the moment. As it says, there's some wiggling going on. Oh no, the 3 is in the wall there. So I think he's trying to keep it off the cars in front of him. He's going to keep it straight though. We're going to stay green. Good hands by Brandon Thomas not to spin that car around, but unfortunately, damage for him. So now again we're showing. It's kind of a mix right now. Josh is showing as the last car in the lead lap, but he has made his pit stop. I'm trying to keep an eye on those who have yet to pit, which is pretty much this group right here from Evan Pienta all the way back to Charles Teed here in 7th. And I'll say we'll jump over to that next leading pack that made those pit stops, which actually looks like a 55 of. Oh, he's exiting the pits right now. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. So it looks like Gabe Butler right now is showing as the leader of this group that made the pit stops. You see there's some of the drivers that pitted are kind of jumping in this group as well. So you got a pretty good group of those that made those pit stops. They're going to try to stay all lined up together. It looks like the 99 Mark Robilis is in as well now. But we're going to stick with our race leaders here as they come through turns 3 and 4. We have 18 to go right now. Next time around 17 to go. These leaders probably have about 4 more laps that they can go on fuel, as my 4-legged commentator wants to chime in as well. But right now, again, Evan Pienta actually showing as our race leader there. Right behind him, Justin Adamson, Jim Brooks there in 3rd. And you got Douglas Johnson, Brendan Pasalacqua, Thomas McConnell, and then Charles Teed. Those are all the drivers in this lead pack here on the lead lap. And then we have a few drivers that have yet to pit but are a little further back, which are Dwight Plush, Dalton Hayes, and Len McNeese. And of course, the rest of the field here has pretty much all made their pit stops under green. So now we're just waiting to see how everything cycles through. Well, it looks like
Yeah,
that 22 and the 72 were trying to tandem there. Got a little squirrely, able to keep it pointing in the right direction. But yeah, I was saying it's definitely some mixed strategies right here to see how this is going to shape out. But the thing is that second group though with Matt Quick there, and it looks like, well, actually I think Logan Helton now is leading that second group in that 63. Let's jump over to them here.
Yeah,
we're 2x2 here.
Group.
Yeah, so you got that's a pretty good group here. There's about a dozen cars it looks like. So you got the one of Gabe Butler on the inside, then you got Logan Helton on the outside. Again, a pretty nice mixed bag of cars here. Looks again like about a dozen or so. And then we were worried about Bud Steele, but look at Bud. He's in that lead pack here, so he's still in contention as well. Really good job by him. Charles Johnson is in this group. He's still unfortunately one lap down, hoping to get that lucky dog right now, not in the position that he needs to be. So say now while we're watching them fight here, we'll jump back to our race leaders because again, they should be pitting here in just a few laps. We can see they're going to be catching some lap traffic here. So it looks like they're all working together. So we'll see if Evan's going to jump to the top and try to take this momentum around and hopefully get some drivers to go with him. Let's say kind of some late moves here by some of these guys trying to work around their lap traffic. But you can see they're really not organized right here, and this is really going to be hurting the top end, or sorry, hurting their lap times, I should say, compared to those drivers that already made these pit stops.
It's gonna be tough because that top group, they all pitted well and they are running side by side, so they have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a hard-pressed one now for these drivers that are staying out here to be able to try to cycle through with our leaders. I just don't think they're going to have the momentum that they're needing here. And saying this is not helping their cause either. And it looks like we have a few that just ducked off there in the pits, trying to see who those are. It's like Douglas Johnson, Brendan Pastelacqua, Charles Teed. Those three have pitted, so that's going to leave now Evan Pienta, Jim Brooks, and Justin Adolphson as the three leaders who have yet to make pit stops up front. And of course, we still have Dwight Plesh, Dalton Hayes, and Len McNeese have yet to make their stops as well.
Looks like we got some more just announcing that they're about to pit, so got some more pits coming.
Yeah, so we'll see if that includes any of our leaders. So you see some of them jumping in there on the bottom line there. You see the 42s on the inside line, 76 is on the inside line as well. So it looks like 61 is on the inside as well. So we'll see if these three are going to pit together this time around. And here they come. Looks like it's just going to be the three of them. So now they got to try to get down to pit road speed, not get too hot on the entry. Looks like they had one driver in there as well with them. Actually, looks like a couple there. Dwight Plush, Dalton Hayes, Len McNeese, and Thomas McConnell. So actually a benefit for them because you'll have a bigger group here, as I should probably change my view so you don't just see nothingness. So I'll say hopefully that's going to help them a little bit there. Make sure, again, that they take, if I'm them, I take the least amount of fuel you need to make it to the end just to try to offset the advantage that these other cars are going to have on the pit exit.
Did most of those take tires or no tires? I would assume no.
I believe it's been fuel only, yeah. So I'd say we see the 61. I think he's the first one that's exiting the pits of this group. I'm trying to take a better look, but you're going to see right here. Here comes that 80. Oh, actually, Jim Brooks there. Oh, no, we have a big one here. Let's say yellow is going to be out. There it is. Let's say it looks like I think someone had a mistake. Probably some tire spin on the pit exit, and that's really going to shake things up here. But yeah, it's unfortunately a lot of good cars caught up in that one. So it's going to be a pretty exciting race to the end, but so now it's going to be pretty much probably about a 10-lap shootout here. You can see the 03 of Kevin Hash was involved. So let's go back and see what happens. Unfortunately, I think just maybe some tire spin there on the pit exit.
Yeah, it looks like 76 spun on the pit exit there and got up into him.
So take a look right now. You see he's right there with the 42 and the 084. And you say start getting on that throttle here. And again, they didn't take tires. Yeah, sure enough, you can see the back end start stepping out. You see a few drivers able to sneak by there, and it looks like I believe the 03 may have been the first one to make the contact there. So let's jump over to his car. So yeah, just really unfortunate there. So yeah, you see the 03 Kevin Hash into Logan Helton. Then you've got Joe Della Vecchia there. Then you got the 8 of Duke Conrad. So again, I had a lot of cars involved in this one, unfortunately. So trying to double check on some of those that also may have tried to sneak through here. Let's jump over to Logan. Oh yeah, Raymond Rittenauer here as well. Yeah, Charles Johnson was involved here as well. So unfortunately, yeah, a lot of cars involved in this incident here. So It's going to put us under yellow. Probably we're going to restart here with about 10 to go, showing as Matt Quick as our race leader. So say they'll go ahead and cycle through here. I think they're waiting on that pace car. I think actually Matt's probably a little bit too far ahead of the pace car. That's why everybody else is so far back of him here. And so you see the one of Gabe Butler is actually the driving behind the pace car. Everybody else is waiting for them. But I think they don't plan on making any more pit stops here. So they're just going to kind of cruise in behind. However, though, with the timing of that caution, driver that's a huge benefit for us, that 61 of Evan Pienta, you saw he had just left his pits there when the caution came out. We were talking about how they were going to kind of blow by him there before that caution came out. So he's actually going to restart here third instead of probably being out of the draft. So that's going to be a huge benefit for that the 61 car. And so yeah, certain enough drivers are in the pits here getting some fast repairs done. Looks like Dude Conrad is in, Raymond Rittenauer, Jim Brooks, Paul Patterson. So they're getting their service done, getting back into the mix here. And I saw the 084, that's Len McNeese. He gets his lap back. And it looks like a few drivers have been trapped a lap down from this as well. So we'll try to sort out the running order here in just a moment. And then we'll rejoin you here on the 1 to go. Alright, lights are off of the pace car. We've still got 25 cars on the lead lap. We've got 4 cars, it looks like 1 down, which are Brandon Thomas, Charles Johnson, Charles Teed, and Chad Wilkes. And then we have two down is Ted Deckard, and then we still have Eric Schaus, unfortunately 8 down, but still in the race. I always like when those drivers are able to kind of hang on, just kind of stick with it even though the race isn't going the way they want to. Unfortunately, it looks like Thomas McConnell has retired from the evening. Kevin Hash actually is now back on track. Unfortunately, 2 laps down. I feel terrible for Kevin there. He had a really good run going this evening, but just wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately, with that mistake on the pit exit. However, we're going to restart here with 9 to go. Look, everybody should be pretty much in good shape on fuel. Hopefully, they have enough if we need for the green-white checker potentials. We do have up to 3 of those if needed. So I think we're going to be seeing that third line get a lot more use here on this restart.
Yeah, it looks like Larry Yingling jumped on YouTube and was watching Kevin and might have jinxed him.
This time it wasn't the commentator's curse, it was the viewer's curse. So I'm putting that one on you, Larry. So I say if Eric, or sorry, if Eric, if Kevin's mad about that, I'm putting that one on you 100%. So sorry about that. Hope you're doing well though, Larry. Cool to see you on here. Hoping, as I'm sure we'll be chatting with you possibly on Thursday, of course. So anyway, yeah, say pace car is ducking off here again. It's going to put it into the hands of the 89 Matt Quick. Gabe Butler to his outside. And then you can see in row number 2, that driver that just made that pit stop as well, the 61 Evan Pienta, and then 25 of Kevin Freese. And then on the inside, you got Bud Steele round out our top 5. So going to restart with 9 to go. We're going to see a lot of aggressive driving from these guys up front, trying to get to the front. So we'll see how they're able to get things done as the green flag is out. And Matt Quick going to take the lead here on the initial start. And you can see Evan Pienta on the back bumper of the 89 car. But you see that one did not get quite locked up with the one like you would like you would have liked it to have happened there.
Yeah, they might get a pretty good run off this on the back stretch though. 25's locking right up on him now, so I don't think 61's going to be able to jump up there.
No, you're right. They're already 2x2. Say up side by side with that 61 of Evan Pienta. I was curious to see if he was going to try to be able to jump to the top. He's not going to be able to make it happen yet. But you see they are all starting to lock together pretty well here as we go through turn number 3. And right now, again, everybody's pretty much 2x2. But I think once we see the momentum start to build on that outside line, that's where we're going to see someone jump to the top. And we know there's going to be drivers that are going to want to get up there. I say obviously the first one that comes to mind for me is going to be that 63 of Logan Helton. I think we're going to see him try to jump to the top. As I say that, sure enough, there he is with Jack Walls. But it looks like they just don't have the momentum yet to get that third line going at this moment. So we have 8 to go here at Talladega.
So you got these 2 teammates running 1 and 2 up front, inside and outside lane. Are you going to run that way the entire time to keep people from passing both of you guys, or are you going to drop down if you get a chance, if you're on that top line?
That's a good question, and there's always that potential of gamesmanship. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think I'm good enough to try to work those lines to kind of keep them stuck 2x2 here. But saying that's where the benefit of Talladega comes into play. I say if that happens, you just go to the third line, and like you see that 63 Logan Helton doing. So again, he doesn't have enough help yet. But again, I think as this run progresses, we'll definitely see him working his way forward. And I'm a little surprised you see there Raymond Rittner or Duke Conrad. I think those two are going to try to clear the 63. And I think once they both clear, I think you're going to see those two, I think, jump to the top and probably try to lock up here and make a run for the top. So we'll keep an eye on them as well. But right now, like you said, that front row is still pretty much running 2x2 here. Yeah, I say they're coming around the 71 right there of Mitchell Wilkes. So now we're going to watch these two. I say you see Logan Helton with him as well. I'm going to watch Raymond here. I would expect to see Raymond and Dude jump to the top with Logan following suit. But so far, they stay still 2x2 on the middle groove. And looks like actually they're going to squeeze the 10 car, Corey Lane, up possibly. Oh, it's a tight squeeze. Nope, Raymond's going to roll out of it there. Good heads up driving by Raymond not to cause an incident there, trying to make a gap that didn't fit. But you could definitely see he wanted to make that happen. But so if I'm them, I think I'm about ready to try to make this top line happen.
Oh, and it looks like Logan got into Dude just barely. Had a good run, and Dude went up high, and it looks like he touched him, kind of got him out of the groove. So Dude's got some work to do now.
He's got some help right behind him. He's got that 71 of Mitchell Wilkes and the 72 of Eric Schaus. I think here comes that top line. I think Raymond said, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's do the top. I'm trying to make the middle happen. It wasn't working. However, Michael Spell sees that too. He says, all right, I want to lead the top line. I think that's what we're going to start seeing as we have 5 to go here at Talladega. You're going to see all these drivers that are maybe running this middle groove. As soon as they see the top line form, they're going to want to be that lead driver of the top line. But again, they're going to have to stay a little bit better aligned, though, because there's still a lot of movement between these drivers to try to get this to happen. So up front, though, again, looks like it has shuffled up a little bit. So I think Matt Quick was on the inside earlier, wasn't he?
He was on the inside.
Oh, yeah, we got leapfrog going on up front here. So it was Gabe Butler on the inside. Now it's Matt Quick. Behind him is the 25 of Kevin Freese. So now he's running that top side. He's got some help from the 42. I'm saying again, looks like that top line hasn't really got anywhere yet. So again, I'm just going to try to keep a close eye on that. Oh, see, it looks like 72 Eric Schaus in the pits here. Again, he was multiple laps down, so might just be trying to get out of it here and let the leaders race it out to the end. But again, yeah, I'm going to try to keep an eye where I can and see who's going to try to make moves where. But right now, I'll say everybody's pretty much going with the double file for the moment, which honestly surprises me. But now it looks like the 87's got the 8 behind him. We're going to see if they can kind of lock up together here and make a big charge.
Oh, they had a good run, and Robbie jumped up.
Oh, and we're going to have contact with Robbie. That's going to be a big incident here. You see a lot of drivers involved. Oh, Raymond with a lot of air here. So he's barrel rolling through turns 3 and 4. So going to come back on his wheels at least. Let's say hopefully he has a fast repair. You can definitely use that. And say we talked about that field number 2. That's going to put us in a green-white checker attempt number 1. So let's go back and see what happened to this caution first off to bring it out. And then, yeah, we'll have to kind of think what the strategy is going to be for some of these drivers here. And that's kind of the risk of these drivers, let's say, with the speed difference when you kind of try to jump out in front of the leaders, or not the leaders, but the drivers that are making the charge there. It sometimes does not end well if they have too much of a speed difference. Like, I'll try to keep an eye actually on the speed difference between the two of them. Like I'm showing right now, Robbie Richards. Oh, actually, no, it's not showing me the current speeds. I apologize. But you'll see here the 12 Robbie Richards. He sees the 87 Raymond Rittenauer coming. He jumps to the top, and just Raymond has such a big head of steam, and also Robbie goes a little bit too high here as he enters turn 3, and just contact from that 87 of Raymond Rittenauer into the back of the 12. And you can see that's just going to send him right across the path of the field. You see the 199 just sneaks by there. Then pretty much from here on out, I think you're going to see all these cars get kind of piled in, unfortunately, as they come through the turn. You can see here, yeah, I see the 63, the 47, the 53, the 10, 26, 83. So it looks like the 27's trying, oh, he's drifting the apron there, trying to keep out of it there. Oh, and poor Dwight. Dwight had it perfectly missed, and he had a little bit of contact there at the end as well. So anyway, so yeah, that's going to put us under yellow here at Daytona, or Talladega, wrong plate track. Again, you're going to see a lot of drivers. You can see a lot of drivers that are getting some of those with blown motors, trying to get these fast repairs taken care of. So up front, though, Matt Quick still showing as our race leader. So again, we'll step away for just a moment while we're under yellow, watch these drivers save some fuel, and I'll try to update you on who had to do what there under yellow and see where they're all going to restart here. Alright, so lights are off of the pace car, And yeah, I say that crowd definitely is not doing a great job of social distancing, but luckily, from everything we've heard so far, it looks like the animated virtual crowds aren't able to catch the COVID virus. So fingers crossed that that doesn't happen, because otherwise all of our computers are in bad shape. So, but yeah, so anyway, though, on this last yellow, so it looks like everybody from the top 13 all stayed out. The drivers that had to make pit stops, probably get some faster pairs, were Corey Lane, Michael Spell, Ryan Wachter, Jim Brooks, Paul Patterson, Dalton Hayes, and Joe Della Vecchia. Charles Teed got the lucky dog. He is back on the lead lap. He's 20. We have 21 cars on the lead lap. And then yeah, so we talked about those drivers that are probably trying to when they made their last pit stops on their green. The question is, did they account for green white checkered finishes, or how many as well? Again, we can have up to 3, so that could definitely open up a can of worms for some of these drivers if we get to that 3 mark. I feel like those that made those pit stops right now under this caution flag, I'm sure they put a little bit more fuel in to play it safe as well. I say, unfortunately, you have a handful of drivers that look like they may be out of the running that were in that incident. I say, still showing 1 lap down is Charles Johnson, Dwight Plesh, Chad Wilkes, Ted Decker Jr., Kevin Hash, still 2 down. And then we have a handful of drivers in the pits here. I think they might be out of faster pairs, including Jack Walls, Robbie Richards, Raymond Rittenauer, Mitchell Wilkes, and Brandon Thomas. All right, so say again, it looks like we got some drivers that are in that same team together. You see the 89, the 1, and the 25. I would definitely expect to see them work together here. The question, of course, is going to be someone's going to play spoiler, I feel like, to try to make that third line happen and get someone going here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as well. However, I say we're going to restart here. This is pretty much a scheduled last lap, so we're going to go a little extra here. Matt Quick going to lead the way. Next to him, you've got Gabe Butler. Then you have the 61, Evan Pienta, Kevin Freese. Wait for that green flag to fly, and we will be back underway here at Talladega. And here we go for green-white checker attempt number 1. If we get to the white flag, they will race back to the finish. However, if a caution comes out before the 1 to go, they'll rack them up and they'll do it again. You can see a bit of a stack up here a little further back in the field. That's going to really shake things up with these drivers further back.
And there it goes.
And there's a spin in the back that's going to bring out the yellow. As they look like we had some drivers that were a little bit off pace. They're trying to stay in it though to have a chance at the finish. So say unfortunately though, let's say Charles Jensen was one of those drivers eligible for the lucky dog. However, since he was involved in the incident, he's not gonna get that one there. So let's go back and see what brought out this yellow. Say I think again it looked like maybe someone off pace just a little bit there. So let's go back and take a look here. Oh yeah, 4 wide does not work very well, especially on these restarts. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit. Looks like there's some damage here. Looks like the 8 car. You can see he's missing some body parts there. So you can see though up top there you see Charles Johnson there, 48-7 car as well. And then you got the 084. He jumps to the top of the 08, trying to find a way through. And I think it's one of those things that kind of run out of space here. So we'll see how this as they go through turns 1 and 2. Again, they're still getting up to speed here. Actually, you see the 084 is pretty high up there while trying to get around the 84 car, or sorry, the 8 car, and that's what pushes them up. That's what pushes up into Charles Johnson. And he actually washes up into Charles as well. And so that's just going to spin Charles down the track, across the path of that 084 and the 8. I'll see if any of these drivers are able to. Hopefully, everybody else is able to sneak around it here. You can see Michael Spell there, Jim Brooks. Chad Wilkes as well. Say Chad's hoping that he doesn't get any contacts. I think if not, he'd be the driver eligible for that lucky dog position, which he looks like he gets away with getting it here, or getting around that wreck. So I'll keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, so then you see the 8, the 084, they all spin around here, unfortunately. Again, brings out the yellow. So this is going to be now our second attempt of a green-white checkered finish. So we'll jump back to our race leaders. And again, I'll say we talked about that fuel number. So I'm sure some of these drivers, if they didn't fill up with fuel, it's going to be a little close for them. Probably starting to sweat a little bit more here. So yeah, so while we're running around under yellow, we'll step away for 1 moment, and we'll rejoin you all on the 1 to go. And I'll update you as well on if we get a driver here as the lucky dog. All right, lights are back off against the green white checker attempt number 2. Again, scheduled distance was 75 laps. Now we're showing, I believe it's going to be 81 or 82 laps it's looking like. So we talked about that fuel window as well being right around that 25 lap window. Again, we've had yellow caution laps. That's going to help their mileage out. But at the same time, though, I mean, I'm showing some of these drivers, they pitted 25, 26 laps ago. So they're going to be, and that's if they topped off on fuel, they're going to be pretty tight to the end here. So I'd say it could be pretty interesting here. Beneficiary of that caution was the 17 of Chad Wilkes. He's now back on the lead lap here. So I'd say he was definitely, I'm sure, happy to have that caution, give him another chance at it, see what happens here on this restart. But up front, we've got, again, the 89 of Matt Quick, Gabe Butler to his outside. Then we have Evan Pienta and Kevin Freese. 5th is Bud Steele. And then remainder of top 10, we have Justin Adolphson, Douglas Johnson, Brendan Pasalacqua, Todd Merkel, and Josh Sichterman. So I'll say, I don't know if we're going to be able to get enough speed and momentum for him now to be able to get a 3-wide attempts for some of these drivers. But I'm sure somebody's going to have to try it to make a shot at it. And I say, I'm going to assume that's you, Craig. I'll say it's good to see you on here, man. Say look forward to catching you on Tuesday with those Indy cars. Hope you're having a good evening.
Here we go again. Let's see if Matt Quick can pull off another Superspeedway win.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to be one to contend with. I'll say really both of those two up front, I'll say they're going to be hard to get around. So, and again, we talked about that teamwork as well. So wait for that green flag to fly. And we are back underway, and it looks like right off the bat, it looks like Evan Pienta getting a pretty good start on the back of that 89 car. You see the 25's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Gabe Butler, so that's not going to be what he's wanting there for his sake. So now again, if they can get to the white flag without an incident, we will race to the finish. However, again, if there's an incident before that, the next time around will be our last attempt. You see the 42 is looking to the top side, hoping somebody's going to go with them. Looks like he's going to get hung out there, though, so he's going to go probably out of the top 10 for sure here. As you can see right now, again, Matt Quick leading that inside line as they go through 3 and 4 here. Right behind him again, Evan Pienta on the outside. Gabe Butler, he's got help now from the 25 of Kevin Freese. He's got a pretty good push as well. Bud Steele's still pretty much pinned here to the inside line at the moment. Looks like they're going to get to the white flag, and we are. So this is going to be our final time around here at Talladega. If an incident occurs, they're going to have to race back to the line. So we'll see who's able to get the push. Right now it looks like Gabe Butler's getting a really good push from that 25 of Kevin Freese. However, on the inside line, they're still pretty much locked together as well. Trying to see if anybody's going to make a risk and try to take the top side right, but right now it looks like it's going to be a 2x2 run to the checkered.
This is going to be a good finish. Here it comes.
Yeah, so you can see everybody's right on each other, is pushing as hard as they can. You can see the 61 actually pushing this 89 here through the turn there. You see a little bit of a wash up there as they go. Oh, you see Evan gets the run. He's going to jump right in front of that one of Gabe Butler. Gabe's going to try to jump to the top of it here. It's like we might get a 3-wide finish. Oh, we get contact there at the line. It's like Matt Quick's going to get the win, but no. I don't know who finished where afterwards, so that was a wild one. But yeah, I say just some aggressive driving, trying to make it happen, but it looks like Matt Quick, Gabe Butler still going to pull off the 1-2 finish. So before we do anything else, we got to go look at that finish there because that was wild. We're going to focus on that 61 at Evan Pienta. You see he makes a big move there, jumps right in front of the nose of the 80 of the 1 car of Gabe Butler, trying to get him to push him to the end. You see Gabe there jumps right to the top as soon as he does that. I was saying, so then at that point the 61's going to pretty much, you can see he's kind of stuck on his own here. I'm saying I think what you're going to see is there's going to be a little bit of a contact as these guys try to fight for all that track position again at about 200 miles an hour here at Talladega. You can see he's getting right to the door of that 89 of Matt Quick. Actually, and it looks like actually maybe a little bit of net code, unfortunately, now that I see it. But you see at the line, though, it looks like that 89's just going to squeak it here. And then you can see as well you got the one of Gabe Butler just ahead of Evan Pienta. And then you can see you got Todd Merkel there. You got the 23 of Brendan Pasalacqua, the 25 Kevin Freeze, the 388's in there as well. And I think going sideways is Bud Steele somewhere in this frame. There's Bud Steele going across the line sideways there. So yeah, wild finish here at Talladega. Actually, here's a better shot of it. So you can see you got all these cars just all right together here. So that said, though, our winner tonight is going to be the 89 of Matt Quick. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can find some of these drivers and have a chat with them. So again, we'll step away for just a moment. We can pull all the drivers up here and have a chat with them. I'll say we'll leave this kind of photo finish here at the end there. I'll say that's pretty exciting, though. All right, so we're going to start off with our third place finisher, that number 61 of Evan Pienta. Try to make that, say, you had a really good run there on the inside, just barely cleared the one of Gabe Butler, jumped to the top, say, and unfortunately didn't get the help you were hoping for, I'm sure, at the end. But say, able still to grab that third place finish, but I mean, I'll say, take us through that restart, because that was wild.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to say, I mean, after all the bad luck I've had earlier this year in this series and the Cup Series, I haven't gotten the finishes I've wanted. So this is the first of what I hopefully hope to continue for the rest of the year. But no, for that restart, those last few, probably the first green white checkered, all that, I just tried pushing Matt right there as much as I could and trying to get him out in front of the outside line, and then tried doing, and then hopefully was able to do what I tried to do, come into the checkered and pull out and try and get the outside line pushed to me and get a run on his outside. But I mean, you're racing to the checkered. It's every man for himself. So I hoped that they would have pushed me, but they obviously went outside, which I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing. But I was just right on his bumper the entire time. I was trying not to push him hard in the corners or coming off of the corners onto the straightaway to hook him, because that's not what I want to do. I didn't want to wreck him. But I just wanted to get him out front as much as I could and get much speed to get to his outside and clear myself to the outside lane.
No, I mean, yeah, so you did everything you could there, and like you said, I mean, you kind of, at these kind of tracks, I mean, you just kind of hope for the best, and so you got to have some help there at the end, and so you made a really good move there. I say it was a really close move, impressive that you were able to kind of fit that car in there, but yeah, just didn't get the help you needed there at the end, unfortunately, but still, I mean, a great result for pulling off the third place finish there. Started 35th as well, so kind of, I mean, did you kind of right at the back towards the beginning, or were you just kind of ready to go straight to the front, even though even though starting at the back of the field there?
My plan from the start was to stay in the back and avoid all the carnage, and I did that, proving I did use my fast spurs. I still had both my fast spurs left at the end of the race. I think the most I had to repair on pit road was 20 seconds from that one incident on the backstretch with the 22, sliding down to avoid that. But that's the most I got. Yeah, and I was planning to ride in the back, just trying to avoid all the early carnage, and got myself up to the front with that lucky green flag pit stop. Unfortunate that I was, just as the caution came out, they passed me. I was passed on coming into turn one, and they passed me, and then the yellow came out. So I was that close to keeping the lead, and that would have been amazing for strategy on my part. But overall, just a great finish, and way better luck than what I've had the past few weeks.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, that's kind of what it all boils down to, especially at these tracks. I mean, obviously you got to have the speed in the car and the pace and everything too, but I say luck's got to go your way, and all those kinds of things as well. And of course, putting in the right position, getting the help at the end. So you had 2 of the 3 there, just didn't get the help you needed at the end, but again, a really good result for you this evening. I definitely want to give you an opportunity for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that third place run tonight.
So, I mean, there's nothing really. I guess the Area 51 guys for putting this on in all their other leagues. I don't know. I know I don't run in all of them. I only run in this one in the Cup Series, but still, just this is my first year in that, so it's fun to learn to race around these guys and get to race around these guys and meet new people. So shout out to those guys for putting this on. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. And I think that's it.
I'll say again, congrats on the third place run. Like I said, hopefully the luck's turning around for you. Look forward to definitely having some future chances to have a chat with you in our other races here in season 5.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that was the 61 of Evan Pienta, bringing it home in third again. Made a really aggressive move, trying to make that, see if he could get almost like force the push, if you will, from Gabe Butler to make it happen. Didn't quite pan out, unfortunately, for him there. I say that one car of Gabe Butler, he tried to jump to the top and see if he could make kind of move himself a little bit forward and still challenge for the win as well. I say he's able to still hang on to that second spot, but yeah, I say definitely pretty wild finish for him as well. So we'll pull Gabe Butler in here as well. Started third, finished second, had a lot of exciting driving at the end there. So I mean, I say obviously that move that 61 put off of turn 4 there, just squeezing in front of you there. I say you went to the top to try to kind of keep your momentum going, but I mean from your seat there, I mean how close was that? Because I mean I was watching from the TV view and I'm amazed he made that fit. Uh-oh. We may have lost the one here.
Yeah, I got you now.
I can hear you.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, hopefully that may have been on my end. Apologies. All right, so second place, Gabe Butler. So anyway, yeah, so out of turn, I'll say we'll start with that, I guess. Coming out of turn 4 there, say that 61 kind of able to just sneak in front of you there. I mean, how close was that from where you were sitting?
I was pretty close. I kind of reacted a little bit slower. I think if I had have reacted a little bit faster, Kevin was with me all the way. Our new teammate, Kevin Freeze, and I think we might have pinched it on Matt, but Matt did a great job there in the bottom.
I'll say, and the other thing I have to ask is, I mean, how close were you guys on fuel there? I mean, obviously you pitted there once the window was open. Did you have enough accounting for 3 green-white checkers, or were you guys starting to sweat it a little bit there towards the end?
I think we had enough for 3. That's why we were saving, the last part of the race. I think we would have made it. It would have been real close on the 3rd green-white checker, but I think we would have made it.
I'll say a really exciting finish, Arrow. So you guys put on a really good show tonight. Definitely want to give you opportunity for thanks and shouts I'd like to give for that second place run this evening.
Sure. Like to thank Kevin Freeze again for a great push there at the end. We almost had it, and the rest of the teammates. Matt, the other Kevin, Mr. Hash, Dude, Eric, Dale, Ray. Hope I'm not forgetting anybody. And my new season sponsor, Apex Realty Services in Orange Park, Florida.
Awesome. I'll say always nice to see sponsors hop on board. So I'll say again, put on a good show for them this evening. So yeah, I'll say great run, Gabe. I'll say right there in contention as always. So congrats on that second place finish, and say good luck here in these future races.
I appreciate it, bud, and I hope Mr. Dale Willoughby is listening and he has some better luck next time.
I feel it, man. I was mentioning that I had a chat with them, and I was like, hopefully you have some better luck, and did not come into play. So we'll figure out something to get that luck turned around for him.
Thanks.
All right, that's our second place finisher there, Gabe Butler. However, of course, to say that Grumpy Cat's probably feeling pretty good this evening. Roy is able to pull off the win again here. Matt Quick, to say he's talking about having some trouble getting kind of in the right position, getting these wins here, but he's been on a roll here these last couple of weeks. Let's go ahead and grab that Grumpy Cat driver over here just for a second.
Sorry, I just realized you were talking to me. I fell asleep on you.
Oh, you're all right. No worries there. All right, so let's pull on Matt Quick here in that number 89 car. Pulling off the win here at Talladega, making that bottom line work there. I say obviously a pretty wild finish there at the end. I mean, I say, and also starting in the 33rd position there. So, I mean, what was your mindset going into it? I say, I'm guessing kind of cruise initially, and then once it's go time, take advantage of it, or I mean, take us through your race, I guess.
So at the beginning there, I was way back. My computer froze during qualifying, so I had to restart. So I knew I was going to be starting in the back. I kind of made my way up to 27th. And I saw things kind of, we caught the pack finally. Like, it seemed like we were really stretched out on that restart, on the initial start of the race. And trying to pushing everybody, pushed my little pack up to the lead pack. And then I saw it was 2x2 for a long time. Then I saw the third line just stalling out. And then I saw the third line trying to take the air off the second line and a lot of stuff, trying to side draft and stuff. So I had a feeling that there was going to be a giant turd happening. So I decided to go in the bottom lane. I was just going to kind of ride, and I was waiting for the big one. That first big one happened on the backstretch, so I was able to kind of ride the apron. I went straight to the apron. I got a little bit of rear damage out of that, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. And then that got me up to 11th from 27th. So that was a huge win right there. And after that, was kind of just riding out and seeing what line was going, and just kind of just waiting my time. I mean, really, I know this is my second one in a row. This is pretty crazy, but that was a lot of luck, man. I mean, you had those people coming off pit road that were at the field. I mean, Gabe and I barely got by that stuff. Got Ray, got Kevin, all that. So that could have been me easily. So again, pure luck all the way. And then those restarts, Gabe and I were kind of neck and neck. And then somehow they got bottled up, and I thought maybe they're going to get a run. And the dude that was behind me went in front of Gabe. And then I thought, well, I'm dead. I'm a sitting duck. And then I think Gabe went on the third line. And then I knew I was just sitting duck. I was watching the line. I kind of saw everything in my mirror. I was mirror driving, but there was nothing I could do. I just held the bottom line. I wasn't going to block anything because I didn't want to die. And because I really wanted the top 5, because I thought that was the best I could do if I didn't wreck. And then all of a sudden everybody died behind me and didn't touch me. I got a 4X out of it, but it wasn't really anything to kill me with. So again, sitting duck, and I made it barely because of that. Start finish line was another 50 feet away. I would have lost that race.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild finish there, like you were saying, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw you on that first wreck. They're able to pretty much get to a stop almost with those guys wrecking, and I think it was entering 3 or somewhere around that area. But yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what these things are here. You say some luck, obviously. I mean, there's always a skill involved to be able to, you got to hit these pit stops, and you were able to get in and out really well with your teammates there to get that track position. That's obviously a critical thing there. But like you said, I mean, you got to have the help you need, and then of course have that luck as well here at Talladega and Daytona, especially, of course. But say Roy and I were mentioning too, is it seemed like these last 2 races you've kind of had to use a little bit of pit strategy to kind of get your way back up into the front. So let's say you've been kind of having to do a little bit of, not extra work per se, but yeah, kind of maybe do something a little differently than just kind of try to control the race the whole time, like we've seen. Like I know Gabe started 3rd, so he was kind of up front the whole way around. So has that kind of changed anything for you, starting in the back, and then of course being when you were involved in an incident and having to work your way forward? Does that change kind of your approach at all?
Yes and no. There's a lot of different factors that go through my head. You kind of figure out, all right, where are we at in the race? Where are we at in fuel? Is it going to help me out? I didn't top off at all this week. There's sometimes I'll top off because I'll find it's not worth it being in the middle pack. And then what I like to do a lot of times when I'm really in the back, and just ride around, save as much fuel as I can, be the last one to pit if possible, as long as it's not that last stop, and then just try to latch on to any car coming out of pit road, or just try to push like crazy, and you make all those passes right there through your pit strategy, because you're left on the track with the most cars, it's going to be the faster pack. But if you stay out as long as you can sometimes, and you catch the people coming out of pit road, I mean, that's golden, because those guys are trying to push. You just latch onto them, and you go around. Today, it was just pure I got through that first big wreck. That was 20 spots damn near. So that helped me out. But honestly, like you said, it does require skill. I will say that. But today was pure luck, because Kevin and Ray were right with me with 20 laps to go there. We all made that stop together, and they died by somebody coming out pit road right at the start finish line. And I mean, you can't account for that. You can't. So that's just luck of the draw, and I think that took out over half the field, if I'm not mistaken, because Gabe and I seem like we're the only ones who got through. So again, it's pure luck, a little bit of skill, and a lot of prayer.
Say whatever the combination is, it worked out well for you tonight. So again, congrats on that win this evening. I'll say, however, before I let you go, definitely want to give you an opportunity for any thanks and shouts you'd like to give for pulling off the win this evening.
I want to thank you guys, Green Red Checker TV, for broadcasting this shenanigans, man. I'm sure it was pretty interesting between all the Rex, and maybe a little bit of strategy here and there. I thank Ray Rittenhauer and Kevin, like always. Gabe for not eating me alive, even though he was trying to eat me alive. I just got lucky there at the end. Thank you to my family. My wife gave birth to a beautiful baby boy last Friday night. Just got home about 2 hours ago, so I'm so glad I got a race today. So I'm just glad to be here 2 weeks in a row, man. Let's keep doing it.
That's awesome. Congratulations, man. I'm happy for you guys. All right, well, enjoy the win. Enjoy the baby especially. And yeah, look forward to catching some future races. And yeah, enjoy this one and look forward to watching you again soon.
Thank you, guys. See you guys next week.
All right, that's our race winner there, Matt Quick, in that number 89 Grumpy Cat Chevy Camaro. That's pretty wild, Roy. Say wife have a baby on Friday, get home on Sunday, be able to still actually be able to hop on and do the race and pull off the win. That's pretty crazy.
That's dedication. Plus, hey, $150 for the winner. That's a lot of baby shoes right there.
Yeah, they do go through baby shoes pretty quick, as I've found out. So that's the other question actually. So is he part of the drivers that are one of those ones that put in the $25 to be in the series, the paid series?
Yes, I believe he is. I'm looking right now, and it looks like he is. Him, Gabe, and I believe Todd Merkel were the money winners for tonight. We're still checking to verify that.
Well, I'll there you go. So get a little bit of cash for tonight's win, and of course, like you said, if he wins the overall series, get some extra pocket change as well. So I'm going to say maybe not towards shoes, especially now, but probably towards diapers. I think that's going to be the go-to for him. But either way, though, great job by Matt, though. So yeah, before we go, though, Roy, any final thoughts on your end? And actually, I got to go through the race results too. So we'll start off.
Yeah, it was another good race. The usual people up front. Matt, intelligent racing as always. Those guys, you can always count on them being up and doing a good job. Middle of the pack gets a little crazy as always. Catches a lot of victims, but it was a good race. Again, I'm glad I'm in the booth instead of down there racing, because the pressure on those super speedways is just too much for me.
Well, we'll get you one of these days. We'll sucker you into it. But so yeah, like you said, a really exciting race. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, a lot of different things going on. So you had the green flag pit stops, of course, and then unfortunately that incident during the cycle of the stops. But it's this one of those things with these races and the pit stops. To say a lot of drivers taking fuel only, so those tires are not in their best condition, and saying that especially that apron is definitely not the best condition of asphalt either. So probably a lot of rubber and pickup and stuff down there. However, we got to pull up our final results here. Hopefully it works for me. And it looks like Gremlins want to give me some trouble here. So let me reload this program real quick and get our results. But yeah, so again, while it's loading up here, I want to thank you all for joining us here with Green White Checker TV. Really exciting race this evening. Like I said, I would definitely want to make sure we pull up our final finishers here so we can see where all your favorite drivers finished up this evening. There we go. So here's our top 10 this evening. Winning the race, of course, Matt Quick in that number 89 machine. Second place is Gabe Butler. In third was Evan Pienta. Fourth, Brandon Pasalacqua. In fifth was Kevin Fries. Sixth, Todd Merkel. Seventh, Douglas Johnson. Eighth was Corey Lane. Ninth, Josh Sichterman. And rounding out the top 10 was Bud Steele. I see the rest of the drivers here all finishing on the lead lap there. You've got 11th, Ryan Wachter, Logan Helton, Justin Adolphson, Paul Patterson, Michael Spell, Jim Brooks, Chad Wilkes, Dalton Hayes, Len McNeese, and Dude Conrad. And say here's 21st through 30th. Unfortunately, some of these drivers did not have the results they were looking for. Getting caught up in incidents, of course, running out of fast repairs, things of that nature. Sometimes some connection issues as well. So not the nights they're looking for, but again, we've got 12 weeks, so there's still time for them to kind of bounce back in the points, and of course try to just get some race wins and good results as well. So here's the 31st through 40th finishers. So we talked about that poor 7-car Dale Willoughby. One of these years he is going to get his luck turned around. We'll figure out what needs to happen to make that a reality for him. But I'd say, like I said, he's been up there in contention. Just bad luck seems to strike him too often. And got last finisher there, Jimmy Crow in the 41, and say unfortunately involved in one of those earlier incidents. Winds up being the last car in the results this evening. However, again, I want to congratulate Matt Quick on the win this evening, and even more so, congratulations on the birth of his child. Congrats to him and his wife. Hope they're all doing well. So really exciting stuff for him, I'm sure. And so, again, I want to thank you all for joining us here with Green White Checker TV. Roy, I really want to thank you as well for your time and everything. Always love having you join me here in the booth on the Sundays with these guys. And for everybody watching, thank you as well for watching. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Remember, if you can, please stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. And until Tuesday, have a wonderful evening. Have a good night.